Welcome to another episode of Riding and Wrenching, the biggest little YouTube channel on the entire interwebs. I am your host, Q the Rider, and in today's episode I'm going to talk about my experiences today on day 2 of Lock and Lean 201. Now, I'll just start off by telling you there is no B-roll footage for this video because it was such a frustrating day. We started at 8 o'clock in the morning, and by about 8:15 I was having problems. It was awful. And I'll tell you that one of the toughest things about Lock and Lean is just how long the class is. It starts at 8 o'clock and we finish up today about 5 o'clock, and it's about the same thing that happened yesterday. But again, as I mentioned, I started having problems early in the day. I was trying to make right turns and just having an awful time at it. I couldn't do it. I dropped my bike several times and I was getting frustrated. Honestly, I was getting pissed off. Not pissed off at anybody here. I was pissed off at myself that I couldn't do what I knew how to do. In fact, I was doing fairly well yesterday. Come to find out that there was a little wiring harness that was getting hung up near the neck bearing of my Road King. Whipped out a zip tie, tied it up and got it out of the way, and now all of a sudden I can do right turns again. Oh, it was such a relief because the struggle lasted for a few hours. And so my takeaway from this, from that part of the day, even though I was really struggling, was that you have to find a way to keep going. You have to have the mental strength to keep moving forward. And sometimes if you're doing, or if I'm doing an exercise and I'm failing at it, it's best just to move on to something different, because I don't want to practice and get good at doing things wrong. And you know, that little problem turning right, it was really bothering me. It was awful. But I made it through, and I want to say it was probably not until after lunchtime where I really started getting it together. Honestly, I thought I was going to fail the class. Maybe I still will fail, I don't know. But the way I was riding this morning, it was so bad. I didn't think I was going to make it, But I did, and really brought it together at the end of the day. A couple of things I want to show you. Just looking behind, you see all the cones out here. These are all the patterns. And I was going to talk about some of the differences between the 3 Lock and Lean classes that I've taken. But before I do that, I have a special guest that I want to introduce again to my YouTube channel. The one, the only, Mr. Ken Grant. How you doing, sir?
Nobody cares!
I think everybody cares, man.
I want to first say thank you for having me on the biggest
Little YouTube channel on the entire interwebs. Woo! Woo! Well, man, I just want to thank you, or thank all you guys for putting on a great class again today. And I was, before you joined me, I was talking about how much I struggled in the first half of the day. I don't know if you saw it, but I probably dropped my bike probably 5 or 6 times, and I was struggling with, I'm going to give you one guess what I was struggling with.
Right turns.
Damn it, you're good. It was killing me. But I discovered that there was some little wiring harness that was getting hung up, and my bar was kind of twitching a little bit, and somebody else saw it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, another rider said, hey, they saw you. They experienced the same thing, and they walked over to my bike. It's that little wiring harness. We put on a zip tie, and now all of a sudden, it was butter. It was butter.
Good deal.
I thought I was done today. Oh my God. Because the thing that I found out about this class is that it's so long, it's an endurance test. And when you get frustrated or pissed off like I was earlier, you got to keep going.
That emotional roller coaster is something that we do on purpose.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Okay.
because if you think about it, when you get emotional while you're out there riding, okay, it changes the way you think. It changes the way you're going to react. Well, now you're training to the point where you're uncomfortable. And what we want you to do is be comfortable being uncomfortable. Because you're going to have to deal with it. What happens when you ride in the rain? You're tired, you're hot, there's traffic, all these other issues are going on out there, and then something bad happens. You still have to survive. Well, now you're used to pushing through that, and that's what these things do. That's why what we do is not a 4-hour class or just a 5-hour class. Every class we do, 3 days, 24 hours. You know why? We need you to have a lot of opportunity to fail, because failure is your opportunity to learn. From failure is where you'll find success, and that's what you found today.
I am the most successful rider here today because I got a whole lot of failing today. But no, I'm not even going to call it failing. Like you said, it's it's an opportunity to learn.
That's what failures are.
Yeah.
Opportunity to learn. Perfectly said.
Yeah, I remember you said in the 101 class, you'd say, "Oh, that was a quality drop there."
There you go. As long as you learn from it.
Yep. So what's on deck for tomorrow?
On deck for tomorrow, we're going to continue with what we've been doing. Now, we've been working on time patterns where we're going through tight areas at speed. We're working on precision patterns that you've been working on there. We've been working on road speed up to 40 miles an hour, threshold braking to up to 8 different options.
Oh, okay. Wow.
You saw that today.
Yep.
8 different things you got to do, and you don't know what's coming. You got to assess, then decide based on the information that's available to you. You had an unknown path of travel you had to run after you went through a controlled area that was, hey, it was all blocked. What am I going to do? You got to get through it. Well, tomorrow we're going to take those things, and then we're also going to go into evading.
Okay.
What is evading? Making the motorcycle move left or right at high speed. And we're going to really work on that tomorrow.
Okay.
And then we're going to get into curve negotiation, where we're in a curve. What happens if something bad happens in a curve? We got to brake in a curve. We got to stop in a curve. We got to evade in a curve. What are all these things? Just like in the real world. And folks, that's what lock and lean is all about. It's not about getting out here and be able to ride a pattern, ride a shape. Everything we do relates directly to the street. Everything. We don't come in and say, we'll show you how to ride this shape. No, because there's no shapes out in the real world. There's only area, there's space. So we teach you how to use that space, so we apply a technique or a process in the space that is available.
Yes, sir. And you know what? I feel like today it clicked in a way that it hasn't in my prior 2 classes. It really did. In particular, the leaning into the bars, and it just really clicked for me today after my debacle this morning.
Okay.
It really came together for me. So I'm pleased.
Well,
no matter what happens, I'm pleased because I learned a lot.
Well, we certainly appreciate you choosing us. We don't take for granted at Lock and Lean that people put their trust and confidence in us and come to us for their training. And as you can see, our instructors are just as passionate as anybody you'll ever meet. We're 100% in because you're 100% in. So
thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Q.
Appreciate you, man.
Okay. My name is Ken Grant. I'm locking, I'm leaning, and I'm out. But you do yours.
All right, I'm Q, the rider. I'm locking, I'm leaning, and I'm turning, and I'm out.
That was beautiful.
Now, one other thing that I wanted to add to this video that I neglected to talk about on the parking lot is the differences between the lock and lean 101, 102, and the 201. So in the lock and lean 101, I learned the techniques that lock and lean wants you to learn. There's what they call a process for how to make it through different patterns. So in that 101 class, you might have a U-turn box, you might have a figure 8, you might have a keyhole, you might have an offset cone weave. There's individual exercises that you do, and you're implementing those processes that they're teaching you through those exercises. Lock and Lean 102 takes all of those individual exercises that you do, they construct a pattern out of those exercises, and then your objective is to, again, use the process in a pattern, a combination pattern, which might include U-turns, it might include a keyhole, it might include an offset cone weave or something else. Lock and Lean 201 is Lock and Lean 102 on steroids. It's just a lot more to it, and it's more intense. There are more time restraints with it. In other words, you have a time commitment that you have to make through an individual pattern. There's also precision patterns. There's more streets or higher speed, street speed skills that you do, or braking in particular. So there's it's progressive in nature. So again, this is the 3rd class. So I've made it through day 2. Lock and Lean also has a 4th class. I don't know a lot about it. Obviously, I haven't taken it yet. They call it the Lock and Lean 301 class. So that's my perspective on the difference between the three classes.
All right, make it happen. You know what to do. Lean forward. Use your space. Space.
It was such a frustrating day.
Nobody cares!
Beautiful.